tale takes place here. His ship was wrecked on the beach opposite on Tate Island. Inside, experience the Dracula story in this award-winning presentation. Music and movie scenes, oriental critics special effects, driving presentation, animated scenes, oriental critics special effects, Brainstorm his famous Dracula story. Inside, experience the Dracula story in this award-winning animated critics special effects.
Yes. Are you ready?
And I bid you welcome, Mr. Spartan.
To the Dracula experience. Walk carefully.
You ready?
Not to run. To run implies a chase. Do not stop too long. That may imply the chase is over. Touch nothing. Touch no begin.
Okay?
Nothing. Touching.
Alright.
Much of the Dracula story takes place here in Whitby.
Should I stop now?
After traveling to Castle Dracula in Transylvania, Jonathan Harker is... Meanwhile, Dracula plots to take over the soul of Jonathan's... After traveling to Castle Dracula in Transylvania, Jonathan Harker is held prisoner by the
You got me?
Dracula's servant waits for his master in a lunatic asylum, not despite.
Must be the Dracula cult.
Yeah, by Christopher Lee in the house.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a photo of this.
Okay. Ready? Up the step. Yeah. Do you want to steer the ship? Okay, you got me?
There's another step.
You got me? Yeah? On the step just there. So you're sacrificing me first?
Yeah, I'm not going first, you
Someone in front.
Lucy's friends and Dr. Van Helsing tried
Just here.
desperately to bring her back using a new technique.
You with me? Yeah? Well done.
Lucy retires to her coffin. Neither dead nor Dracula is now pursued relentlessly by Van Helsing, Jonathan Harker, Quincy, and Fred. Calm this one.
Got me?
Lucy retires to her coffin.
Never expected that.
It all began with war, as these things usually do. Turkish armies of the Ottoman Empire were marching north through Wallachia and Transylvania in an attempt to conquer Europe. There arose a Transylvanian prince, warrior of the Catholic Church, who raised his army to repel the Turkish invasion. He was Prince Vlad III of Wallachia. His father was Vlad II, also known as Prince Vlad Dracula. He was awarded the title of the Grand Order of the Dracula, or Dragon in Old Romanian, by the Holy Roman Emperor for his defense of the Church. Vlad III was therefore also known as Vlad Dracula, Dracula being the Slavic genitive form of the patronym Dracula, or Dracula, son of Dracul. He was born in Sigiswara in Transylvania in 1431. Transylvania translates to land beyond the forest. His birthhouse still exists, and a sign of the dragon hangs outside to this day. This plaque is on the house. After the brutal murder of his father and brother, he became voivode or ruler. This is the only known picture of his father, Dragon Dracula. While he was away at war, his wife Elizabeth was falsely tricked by the Turks into thinking Dracula had been killed in battle. In her grief, she threw herself off the castle battlements to her death in the river Arches below. It is still known as the River of the Princess to this day. These two events enraged Vlad, and he renounced the church, and went on a rampage of murder and impalement of the Turks, but also on the boyars or local nobleman, who he thought had betrayed him. He invited all these nobles to a feast at his headquarters in his capital of Targa Vista. And when they were done eating and drinking, he had them impaled. He spared the fittest, though, to provide slave labor to build his new castle at Popenhagen. These ruins are all that are left of his fortress stronghold at Popenhagen. He never lived at Castle Brand, which is the more elegant castle, often portrayed as his. On another occasion, he invited the poor, sick, and criminals to a banquet in a newly built wooden hall. After the feast, he set fire to the building, killing all. A party of Turkish negotiators refused to remove their turbans in his presence, so he had the turbans nailed to their heads. His preferred punishment, however, was impalement. He is thought to have impaled 100,000 people during his reign. He would sit amongst the impaled to eat his food and drink their blood. This earned him the nickname Vlad the Impaler, or Vlad Tepes in Romanian, though this name was never used to his face. This was too much for the Turkish Sultan Mehmed II, and he marched his 100,000-strong army on Vlad's capital, Targa Vista. However, he turned his forces back in revulsion at the sight of 23,844 rotting Turkish corpses in a forest of the impaled. Vlad had them counted as they were impaled. But Vlad's luck would not last forever. He was finally killed in a Turkish ambush in 1476, outside Bucharest. His body was taken to the monastery on the island of Snagov, where it was buried under the altar, although his head is reported to have been sent to the Sultan. In 1931, the Romanian government exhumed the grave. The grave was empty. Where is Dracula? 400 years later, Bram Stoker, born in Dublin, Ireland, became a London theatre manager to a famous actor, Henry Irving, at the Lyceum. He was also an aspiring author. After writing several unsuccessful books, he took his family on holiday in the Yorkshire seaside town of Whitby, staying at a house in Royal Crescent on the West Cliff. His landlady, Fanny Harker, would lend her name to one of the book's main characters, Jonathan Harker. While looking over the harbour one day, he could see Tate Hill Sands, the site of a wreck of a Russian ship some years earlier. This gave him an idea for a new book he'd been researching called The Undead, with the main character, a Count vampire. Part of his research took place in this very building, and in the room where you are now sitting. In 1897, this building was known as the Captain's Reading Rooms.
One of the buildings that Bram Stoker visited back in the 1890s is this one on my right. Back in his day, this was the captain's reading room.
Captains would anchor their ships in the harbour and row across to these reading rooms to eat, drink, and meet other captains. They could read the London and local papers here and arrange future cargoes. Stoker also did much of his research here, asking the captains and locals about folklore. One of the captains, Captain Smales, becomes the Whitby fisherman, Mr. Swales, who was Dracula's first victim in Whitby. One such tale is of a huge black dog with red eyes known as the Barkeyes Hound, which roams Whitby at night. It is rumored that anyone seeing this hound will be dead by morning. The ship and the black dog were integrated into his new story. He read about Prince Vlad Dracula, or Vlad the Impaler in Transylvania, and though he never went there, Vlad would form the basis for his main character, who he now named Count Dracula, a name which would famously enter the English language. Bram Stoker died in 1912, and did not want to be buried. He opted for cremation. 3 chapters of the book take place in Whitby. Captain's Log, the Demeter, left Varna, bound for England. Ship blown off course by a storm, which came from nowhere. Something strange and frightening on board with us. Crew all dead. I fear I will not be home for this night. The ship enters Whitby Harbour with the captain lashed to the ship's wheel, his broken neck swaying with the wind. It is wrecked on Tate Sands. A huge black dog was seen to leap off the shipwreck and race up the 199 steps to the graveyard at St. Mary's Church near the ruins of Whitby Abbey. Lucy Westerberg and Mina Murray were staying at the house on the Crescent, now East Crescent. Under a hypnotic trance, Lucy is drawn from her bed.
Yeah.
Lucy Westerberg and Mina Murray were staying at the house on the Crescent,
Okay.
now East Crescent. Under a hypnotic trance, Lucy is drawn from her bed and outside along North Terrace past the Royal Hotel to the top of Whitby. From there, she would look across the harbour to the graveyard and Abbey opposite on East Cliff. There she saw 2 red eyes shining from the graveyard. She ran down the cliff, past the fishing cobbles, along Haggis Gate at the back of this building, and over the bridge crossing the River Esk. She turned left along Church Street, past the marketplace with the old town wall, above Tate Hill Sands. Then she continued on Haggis Cliff, now Henrietta Street, also known as the haunt of the Barkeyes Hound. She raced up the 199 steps to the graveyard and to the grave of a suicide. There she saw a huge black shadow which rose to engulf her. That grotesque face, a flash. This was her first encounter with Dracula, and it was to seal her doom. Dr. Van Helsing arrives to help our hero, Jonathan Harker, to fight the vampire and prevent his fiancée Nina from also being taken by Dracula. Van Helsing outlines the vampire's powers. He has the strength of 20 men. He can direct the elements, the wind and the fog. He can control the meaner things, the wolf, the bat, and the rat. The last location in Whitby is the railway station, where Solicitor Millington directs the loading of the crates of earth with Dracula's sleeping body upon crate on its way to Berkeley, London. After further events in London, Harker, Arthur, Quincy, and Van Helsing chase Dracula back to Transylvania, and they succeed in cutting Dracula's head from his body. It seems that Dracula's reign of terror is over. What do you think? But consider this dismaying observation. Since vampires do not die, a vampire may follow you.
it starts again and we didn't see the snow.